We welcome you back here to Christenberry Fieldhouse. It's 6-5. The Jaguars have taken the lead in set 3. We are tied at a set apiece. The Jaguars cruising in set 1, but the Bearcats answer back and win set 2 to even the match. And now the Jaguars looking to answer back here in set 3. We apologize for the technical difficulties. My partner Blake Collins is still working to resolve them. We're audio only at the moment. We're working to get the picture back as soon as we can. And again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. It's tied at 6 here at the Chris. In set 3, it's been a very back and forth third set. The Jaguars in set 2 trailed the entire set, but kept it close throughout, but were never able to pull ahead, and Lander closed them out to even the match. And the Jaguars never trailed in set 1 and absolutely cruised to victory, went off to a very fast 5-0 start in set 1. Lander used both of their timeouts in set 1 early on, and the Jaguars did not look back from their fast start. Lander using their timeouts early in set 1 did not help their cause in the slightest. And set 2 is the total opposite. The Jaguars used both of their timeouts, but still were unable to pull ahead, and we're tied at a touchdown apiece here in set 3. In a match that's also tied at a set apiece. Jaguars receive the serve. Martin digs it up. Hedrick floats it over. And it's back on the Jaguar side. A dig by Allen. And it's hit hard over. Deflected, and a point for the Jaguars. They lead at 8-7. As soon as we get the picture back, Blake will join us again momentarily. We appreciate all the hard work he does and resolving the issues. It's 8-7 Jaguars. Malik digs it up on the Jaguars end. Hedrick with a hard hit ball. Jessica Hedrick today, she's a senior and in her final game here at the Chris playing with a lot of heart, and rightfully so. She's gotten several big spikes. She's hitting the ball hard, and she's done an outstanding job guarding the front of the net in her career. And the Jaguars next season, I'm sure, will miss her at that part of the net. It's 9-8 Jaguars. Mass substitutions on both sides coming. Peyton Murchie, the other senior, coming back into the game for the Jaguars. Talked about how much the Jaguars will miss Hedrick. I said this earlier. She's played in all but one game in her 4 years here at Augusta University. A lot of hard work and dedication goes into that. And it's deflected off of the senior Murchie, and it's a point for Lander. We're tied at 9. Hannah McManus will serve for the Bearcats. Chloe Allen digs. Here come the Jaguars. And where does that one land? It lands just out of bounds. Game of inches. And it's a Lander point. It's 10-9. Jaguars had the right idea, though, on that one, but it just landed on the wrong side of the out-of-bounds line. And it's a Bearcat serve. Here come the Jaguars. A float over by Kylie Martin, and the Bearcats fail to hit it back over. They hit it off the net, and that ties it at 10. In other action going on, it's 22-19 in favor of USC Aiken over Georgia College down the stretch in set 1. In Georgia College, if USC Aiken wins that one, then that'll end any chance of the Jaguars getting a tie of the conference regular season title. The Jaguars kept their hopes alive with a big victory, sweeping the Pacers last night. But they'll need help today. If they win this one, they'll need help in order to be tied for the title and have a chance at a first round bye in the conference tournament next weekend, which will be just across the border in Aiken. And that sails into the stands. And it's a point for the Bearcats. It's 12-10. The Flagler Saints have already swept the Braves of UNC Pembroke in other games today. It's 12-11. Lander, Blake, welcome back. And we got the good news. We have the picture back, as you all can see, thanks to Blake's hard work. And we apologize for the technical difficulty earlier, but Blake, it's good to have you back, and thanks for all your help today. You have any early thoughts on what you've seen so far here in set 3? It's been pretty back and forth, just like set 2 has.
It's been pretty back and forth. You've seen the Bearcats get a little more cleaner with their transitions, a little more cleaner with their passes, good setups. The Jags have been doing the same thing on their end. They've been a little bit better at being able to dig balls out, which has helped them tremendously, and one of the reasons why they're in the lead right now. But as you mentioned, this is going to be back and forth throughout the rest of this third set, it seems like.
Absolutely will be. Holland Martin with a service error, and it's now, does that tie it at 13? Yes, it does. We're at the midway point in the middle set of this match.
When you have deadlocks like this, it means both teams are on their A games and are not going to let up anytime soon.
Set 2 was back and forth until the Bearcats, I should say, pulled away late to even the match. Point for the Jaguars, and they go up 14-13. You knew after the Jaguars cruised to victory in set 1 that the Bearcats weren't going to go away. They're not atop the standings for nothing.
Oh, absolutely, and they've made very good adjustments coming out of timeouts and coming out into this third set that is really allowing them to hang in there against a very rigorous Jags team. And on that last play, you saw a deflection off the Bearcats that went higher. Usually they go lower. That time it went higher and allowed the Jags to score the point because the deflection went out of bounds.
Malik a float over, but Bearcats ready for that one. That goes on the attack, and it's hit out of bounds, and it's Jaguars retake the lead, 15-14. Nicola Ramos will serve it. And that sails out of bounds. We're tied at 15. I've lost track of the amount of ties we've had this set. But it's been a lot. And like I said before, I never count when it's 0-0. Peter gave me a hard time about that yesterday during the third set.
Yeah, because you'll always start initially with a deadlock score at 0-0.
No matter what the sport. 16-15 Jaguars.
Even in golf sometimes, I think.
Yeah, at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And Ramos and Allen almost collide head-to-head, diving for that one. And that ties at 16. We're very glad they didn't.
Yeah, both players displaying passion right there, wanting to go for the volleyball. Thank goodness they didn't collide, but unfortunately the point was secured by Lander.
A hitting violation gives Lander another point and the lead, 17-16.
Look at this. Augusta is kind of trying to get their bearings back on defense a little bit. They're still making a little bit of mistakes, but they're trying to get back to where they are dominant defensively. Lander, though, is still applying the pressure to Augusta.
It's deflected, and it goes over to the Bearcats bench. A good catch, though, by Riley Quensler, who is on the bench.
Yeah, Lander had a good base for that defensive setup. They just could not get their hands up to dig that ball out in time.
We're tied at 17, and number 17, Madison Malik, for the Jaguars, will serve it. 17s are wild. A high serve, and that allows the Bearcats time to get it across, but it goes out of bounds. It may have bounced off the net. Gives the Jaguars a point. This set 3 is going to go right down to the wire. There's no doubt.
It is.
Set 4 may as well.
Both teams are playing toe-to-toe, tooth and nail, not giving an inch on the court,
yes,
responding right back after a point is secured. The other team comes back and takes a point.
18-17 Jaguars. A dig by Zitrauer. And it's tapped over, and that's going to land in front of a diving Madeline Reed. And it's 19-17 Jaguars. I believe this is their biggest lead of set 2. And timeout for the Bearcats.
Yeah, very, very good defensive save on that play. It was almost the defensive MVP of that play for the Jags, with Zatrower with that diving dig kept it alive for the Jags to secure that particular point. But as you mentioned before, this is going to go down to the wire.
Yes, it will. We'll bring you the wire on the other side of this break. We are back here at the Chris. 19-17 Jaguars. They go on the attack. Malik hits it, but it's spiked right down by Maya Walker on the Bearcats. She's going to take a seat right after that one. It's 19-18.
Yeah, that was a good read and good timing, because Malik was coming in strong with a harsh kill, so the timing had to be precise, and she hit that right on the money.
She absolutely did. And that's another point for Lander. Ties this one at 19. That's two straight for Lander after they take a timeout. They have one left. The Jaguars still have both of theirs here in the third set, and that bounces off the net and hit back over. Now the Jaguars set it up. Murchie hits it up in the air, and that one lands in. Jaguars take the lead, 20-19. Saliba serves it, and it sails right out of bounds. It's 20-20. And for the Bearcats, it will be Corey Nichols, a 5'3" freshman, serving. She hits it across. Martin digs it up. It goes back, but Saliba is back there to hit it up right to Ramos, getting it across. And it's deflected. And Saliba hits it back up in the air. Jaguars go back on the attack. It's floated over by Jessica Hedrick, and that's going to land. She got the perfect bounce. When she tapped that one across, it's 21-20.
As sent Lander sprawling to get the dig. They showed heart and passion with it, but just too many players trying to gun for the ball. And when you have that couple of touches, and it was all she wrote for the Bearcats on that play.
That one lands in. Point for the Bearcats. We are tied at 21. And whistle at substitutions on the Bearcats side. Gets it across. Jaguars move on the attack. They get it right to Chloe Allen. And once you see the ball go towards where Chloe Allen is, or Chloe Allen going towards the ball, one of those, you can almost predict with about a 90% accuracy that's going to result in points for the Jaguars. And it does again there.
Especially with how accurate she is with those kills. Yes, it's fierce, and yes, it's harsh, but she pinpoints a precise place on the defender if she's going against defenders that she hits the ball, kills it, and the deflection off of that caroms where the Jags can have a chance at can capitalize on that point.
That's tapped over. 22-21 Jaguars. Where does that one land? It lands out of bounds. 23-21 Augusta. And timeout, Lander. That's their last timeout of this set. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Chris. Zitrauer serves it for the Jaguars off of the timeout, leading 23-21. Set 3 coming right down to the wire as we predicted, Blake. And that one's going to land in. And the Jaguars once again, Ramos gets the perfect bounce, hitting it over that time. And it's set point 24-21 Jaguars, trying to go up 2 sets to 1 in this best-of-5 match.
Yeah, Lander tried to save it, but just could not get the hands underneath the volleyball to get it up in the air to give them enough time to dig it out.
And Lander extends the set for at least one more round, 24-22. The Jaguars have done an outstanding job here in this match of getting the right bounces when hitting it over, resulting in points. Still trying to close out the Bearcats here. To get it over. And that's it hard, and it's a point. Madison Malik with the kill, and the Jaguars take set 3 and lead it 2 sets to 1. Here at Christenberry Fieldhouse. We'll be back in just over 2 minutes to preview set 4. On the other side of this break, Jaguars lead it 2 sets to 1 over the Lander Bearcats. Back after this. Welcome back to the Chris. I'm Robert Ambrose with Blake Collins. The Jaguars winning sets 1 and 3 of this match, and set 2 is won by the Bearcats. That gives the Jaguars a 2-1 lead. It's a closeout set 4 for the Jaguars. Here in this one, Blake, what do you expect?
To be full throttle again. The last set was tremendous. Lander showed what they can do, how tight and how tough they can play. The Jags expect that to come out in fruition, and the Jags to keep playing their style of game. It's going to be a tough, rigorous set for both squads. But if for Lander, see if you can get the Jags defense off balance and go on a run here, because you want to start out strong and be able to get out to a sizable lead off a run, so that way you feel more confident, especially coming out of that blistering set last set where you almost took that set. So we'll see what happens. But for the Jags right here, you're 2-1 lead. You want to come out firing on all cylinders and drop the Bearcat confidence and press the pedal to the metal.
Murchie serves the opening serve of set 4, and we're underway. High in the air, gives Chloe Allen plenty of time to get under it. Back on Lander's side. And that one lands just out. Lander takes the early lead here in the 4th set.
Great decision there by the Bearcats to attack the outside line, but an even better read there by Holland Martin, the libero for the Jags, to let that sail out of bounds.
Dig by Chloe Allen. And it's floated back over on a ricochet. And that one lands just in. What a beautiful job by Jessica Hedrick. She saw where the defenders were. She hit it out of their reach and kept it just in bounds to tie this at 1.
Tremendous precision there by Hedrick there, especially seeing that tight window and how much room she had.
Two to 1 Lander.
So playoff atmosphere already here today, come early, and it's been a playoff type of game in the last 2 sets.
Well, let's get a little preview for next weekend's conference tournament, Blake.
Absolutely.
2-1 Lander. Murchie with a dig. Here come the Jaguars, and it's hit across by Nicolette Ramos. What a job, and another beautiful job to get the bounce her way. It's tied at 2.
Yeah, an electric kill coming cross court, freezing up the outside hitter there, an outside attacker. Could not defend that ball at all, and it cost the Bearcats their lead, and now the score is deadlocked.
Deadlocked at 2. And set 4. And it's dug up in the air on a beautiful save. Almost hit the ground that time, and now this time it does. It's a Lander point, 3-2. Hit across. Here come the Jaguars. It's deflected back on the Jaguar side, and it's a point for Lander. It's 4-2. Jaguars on the attack, and Nicolette Ramos smacks it out of bounds. Hit that one just a little too hard. It's 5-2 Lander, 3 straight points for the Bearcats. The Bearcats off to a similar start than we saw them off to in set 2, in which they ultimately won to tie this match. Jaguars bounced back with a win in set 3, and now Lander trying to force a 5th set. A whistle. The hitting violation on the Jaguars. It's 6-2 Lander, 4 straight for the Bearcats.
These type of games, though, for both teams is going to sure up holes that each team has leading into the playoffs, so where they can work through these and be the best teams you'll have in the Peach Belt Conference playoffs.
Good chance. Wouldn't be surprised if they meet again next week across the border in Aiken. USC Aiken is the host school of this year's tournament. 6-3 Lander. Zitrauer just into the game. She'll serve it. Chloe Allen, a hard hit ball, and that's a ricochet, and that's a point for the Jaguars. If you hit it hard, good chances you're going to get a ricochet going your way if you hit it in the right spot. Hit it hard. That's what Chloe Allen does best.
Absolutely precision, killing it right there, and at its best. And you don't have much time at all to try to dig that. And if it surprises you, then there's not much hope you can do to counteract that.
That one lands out of bounds, and it's a point for the Jaguars. So the Jaguars answer back with 3 straight to get within 1, 6-5. Zitrauer will serve it. Game of runs here in set 4. She gets it across. Now Lander moves, gets it back over, floats out of bounds. And the Bearcats look pretty lackadaisical on that one. Not sure where to hit the ball, and they hit it out of bounds, so that ties it at 6.
Yeah, they did, and they had a dig that went the wrong way off the deflection. They wanted it to go over to the near side here. It went to the far side and out of play.
Zitrauer serves it. And that lands, just barely grazed the ground. And the Jaguars, 5 straight points, take the lead. Is this the kind of Jaguars run we've seen before coming our way?
The Jags have anything to say about it, it will be if Lander looks to stop that here, but both teams have been on severe runs, but the difference is, too, each team has not allowed those runs to be so... the lead being so great that the other team's confidence is down and they get out of sync and they can't come back.
Point for the Bearcats, it's 8-7.
So from that standpoint, even though they go on runs, they still contest for the lead, even though they're, whether it be 2-3 points down, they still have the ability to come back in a heartbeat.
Both teams do. 8-7 Lander. That's high in the air on Lander's side. Now back on the Jaguars' side, and this is a very back and forth. Prolonged round here, and it lands just in bounds, so Lander gets a point. It's 9-7.
Lander with good communication, although I'm not sure if the ref saw that, but a player did hit it out of bounds. But you had good communication regardless, and they capitalized on the point tremendously well.
Point for the Bearcats, 10-7. Jaguars score, actually the Bearcats scored 4 straight, then 5 straight for the Jaguars, and now 4 straight for Lander.
Game of runs here.
Absolutely. Floated over, and Malik hits it across. Martin hits it up. And a spike by Chloe Allen, who was right up on the net.
That was set up previously by the pass beforehand. You had the pass for Lander going over to the far side. The middle blocker went over there to try to set up that pass. She got caught off guard. So what does Augusta do? They see that, and they capitalize by striking right down at the spot where she left to go cover that spot. They hit it right back down where she formerly was to secure the point. That's a brilliant strategic move by Augusta in game to tack on the point there.
Absolutely. A little confusion. Both teams talking to the refs about a situation. It's 10-8. Lander with the lead. Nicolette Ramos back to serve it. High up in the air, and it's deflected. And a beautiful spike by Kylie Martin. 10-9.
Don't succeed the first time. Go back to the well one more time and see if you do.
Persistence is key.
Persistence, and that time they went back twice to the same.
And another spike. We're tied at 10.
Yeah, same person, and then they got the point that time. This time they just went straight down the throat, straight in the middle, and secured it.
Malik hits it over. Tapped over. And that stands on the top of the net and bounces onto the Jaguars' side of the court, so it's a point for Lander, and it's 11-10.
You never can tell what the ball is going to do coming off the net like that, especially when it's up there for that long. And Jags tried all they could to get the assist off the net, but to no avail.
Martin digs it up. Here come the Jaguars. That's hit high, and that bounces off a men's basketball conference championship banner. That's how high that one was.
You rarely see that here.
It's like a baseball hitting the catwalk at Tropicana Field.
You rarely see that here at the Chris, but
no,
it's a first time for everything.
There absolutely is. There's a lot of banners in this arena. Very successful athletic programs here. Tied at 11. And a spike by Madison Malik. No, they give it to Lander. What, did it go out of bounds?
Challenge.
No.
May have landed out of bounds, and that gives Lander a point, and it's 12-11.
Well,
Bearcats.
Either that or the hang came through on the net on what they're challenging, but
nevertheless, a great job by Malik, just so close on that one.
Yeah.
But they answer back and get the point, and we're tied at 12.
Because if like the follow through comes down on the net, then they can call that. But that's something I have never seen called before like that. So as we're back live from that, it's deadlocked again at 12.
And it's on the Bearcats side, and that one sails just in bounds. Holland Martin thought it was going to go out. She laid off of it, but it landed just in, and it's a point for Lander.
Lander capitalizes on the confusion when it's at bay. You've got the Jags a little bit rattled right now due to something that was a little bit out of their control initially, but the Jags have to recalibrate here and reboot if they want to try to stay in this game, because right now it went from a 1-point lead to a 2-point lead. Now Lander's starting to spread their wings here and go on a run.
And they lead at 14-12. This has been a game of runs in set 4 so far. Deflected off of Chloe Allen, who dove for that one, and it's 15-12 Lander.
There's a lot to accuracy and precision. You can dive for it as much as you want to, but if it's one finger length away from getting it, then you've done your job well as a attacker, because it's that split. It's that just enough of a margin out of reach that'll between the continuance of a play and a point, and that's what the Bearcats did really well there.
And the Jaguars get a point off a service error, and now Saliba serves it, and an interesting dig there. And Lander floats it over for the point. Saliba just out of her reach on the dive, and it's 16-13.
Just a little bit tardy on that dig there. Great effort by Saliba, giving it her all air and body out on the line. Just not enough height on that float over. for the Jags to dig it out.
Saliba dives and Ramos gets it over. And they get it over again. And a whistle and a netting violation on the Jaguars, and it's 16-13 Lander, and Coach Quarles takes her first of 2 timeouts here in set 4. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Chris. The Jaguars off their timeout. We see this every time. They don't take the timeout. They take the floor ready to go a lot sooner than the Bearcats do. The Bearcats like to take their time and talk things over, but the Jaguars know what adjustments to make. So we'll see if it pays off here. They trail 17-13 in set 4. The Bearcats want to extend this match for a deciding 5th set, which will be 1st to 15 instead of 1st to 25 if we get there. And that's it down and a point for the Bearcats, 18-13. Jaguars have a bit of a hill to climb if they want to close this out this set.
Yeah, the one thing, if you're Lander, you don't want to happen right now with such a big lead is for this game, for this matchup to go into a sudden death 5th set.
The Jaguars get a point back. It's 18-14. When you get to a 5th set, it becomes a sprint as opposed to a marathon, 1st to 15.
Yep. But right now, with them being down a set and in the lead, it may prevail that way. It's still in the 4th set to be determined. But as the 5th set rolls around, when the pressure's on and it's sudden death, that's when a lot of times the Jags come out to play their best volleyball outside of smelling blood in the water, as we've said a lot of times earlier, when they have a big lead and can capitalize on mistakes by the other team.
A point there, and it's 20-14. Lander now transitioning to closeout mode in set 4, 5 points away from extending this match. And Jaguars get a point, 20-15 is the score.
If it does go to a 5th set, Augusta will have to make some adjustments to try to recalibrate, this Lander offense.
Jaguars get another point back, and it's 20-17. So the Jaguars battling right back. We've seen them go on runs late in sets to have teams right where they want them at the end to come back when it's do or die. It's not quite do or die yet, but Jaguars would feel like they have them right where they want them at this point. Down by 5 now as the Bearcats get another point, 21-16.
Just when you think they lose momentum on an unforced error by a long kill that went out of play, they come right back and drop one right in front of the defense for the Jags. And that unforced error right now for Lander is almost like it never happened.
Jaguars go on the attack. Ramos gets it over, but it's deflected, and the Bearcats set it up perfectly on their end of the floor. Ramos. Another float over. Beautiful job, and that's a point. It's 21-18.
she does a tremendous job of strategic adjustments right when she goes up for the kill. Like, we know how powerful her kill is. Ramos.
Oh, yes.
She can send a fastball like anybody else's business on the volleyball court to the other team. But in that setup and transition, she really goes into this adjustment that changes it up and fools the defense entirely, especially when she floats it over.
Absolutely, and now back on the Jaguars end. Jaguars down by 3. And that falls in between two diving Martins, Kylie and Holland Martin both going at it, no relation.
So even though Lander lost an ace point, they responded very well, come back and just drop one where there was a big open gap in the defense to where no Jags could even respond at all.
23-18 Lander, they're 2 points away from extending things. Here come the Jaguars. And that bounces off the net, and that's a Jaguar point, 23-19. Jaguars with another point, 23-20. They're right back in it, down by just 3. Timeout, Lander. Each team will have one left on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. We're back here at the Chris. 23-20. Lander with the lead. Lander needs one more point to make it set point here in set 4. Leading by 3 for the Jaguars. Chloe Allen will serve it off of the timeout. And away we go once again. Floated back over. Hedrick hits it up in the air. It's tapped to Madison Malik, who has it deflected. And Kylie Martin also has it deflected, and it's a Lander point, and no, it goes out of bounds, bouncing off the net. And it's 23-21. Jaguars getting closer. Allen will serve it again.
Jags caught a break there because both kills the Bearcats were ready for, and they blocked them both times.
Hit high in the air by Chloe Allen. Malik with it, hits it back over, and it's back defended on Lander's side. And Lander keeps it alive and hits it back over. Here come the Jaguars. And Kylie Martin with a beautiful float over, and it's a 1-point game, 23-22, timeout. Lander.
Yeah, 23-22, and the thing about it is, too, this shakes Lander's confidence tremendously right now, so we'll see how it comes out.
If they don't get a point on the next round, then they're going to have to win by 2. We'll be back. We're back here at the Chris. Chloe Allen will serve it once again off the timeout. Lander has used all of theirs this set. The Jaguars still have one left. 23-22, Lander with a lead. The Jaguars lead it 2-1. A whistle, and we're tied at 23. What a comeback by the Jaguars. It's anybody's match, anybody's set now, isn't it, Blake?
Yes, it is, and that could happen one or two ways. It could have come out more focused and more driven, but they showed their hand a little bit by miscommunication and being out of place defensively, and that's where the Jags attack and capitalized.
Here come the Jaguars. Hedrick hits it back over, and it's back on the Jaguars side, and Kylie Martin bounces it off the net, trying to float it over, and it's Lander's point, 24-23 set point.
But Lander again, even though their confidence is down and they're shaking a little bit, that error by the Jags being in the net like there helped the Bearcats tremendously regain some of that confidence.
And the Bearcats, I don't know if their confidence was down, Blake. They end up closing out the set and taking set 4, and we will play on into a deciding 1-15, set 5. What a match this has been. We will be back. Welcome back to the Chris. We are about ready for a 5th and final set. And this suddenly transitions from a marathon, Blake, to a sprint.
Not only final set, but final set of the regular season for the Jags. Like
that is
this
correct.
is
yes, absolute certainty of that.
This is going to be an absolute pivotal set in terms of not only playoff implications, but to absolutely get both teams in gear for the playoffs, because it is right around the corner. As you mentioned, it's only about a week away.
And a ricochet, and what's the call going to be? The officials have not yet awarded a point. I guess that was a non-serve.
It may have happened before the serve took place.
A little practice info for the Jaguars. Never hurts.
Absolutely.
Away we go here in set 5. The Jaguars have won the odd number sets, and the Bearcats have won the even number sets. That's called back and forth. That's what we've had today.
To a T.
And the Jaguars get the first set, or the first point of the 5th set.
Yeah, the Jaguars absolutely ramped up there. They came in with a serve off of the dig, and they struck right when the time was right for nobody to even get to that.
Spike for Chloe Allen, and we're tied at 1.
You can just feel and feel the intensity in this set. The crowd's into it, everybody's into it, and both teams are on their A game with communication, passes, and setups here.
And a hard hit results in a point for Lander. It's 3-1, 3 straight for Lander after the Jaguars got the first point. Since it's first to 15, the points get a lot more crucial here in this 5th set.
Yeah, and Ramos ran into a brick wall. Both the outside hitter and middle tackle were ready for that blitz from Ramos, trying to kill it.
And it's 4-1 Lander.
Lander coming out with a very hot and vicious run here. See if the Jags can regroup and redirect this matchup to their style of volleyball.
And it's 5-1 Lander, 5 straight. After this game, Blake will interview one of the seniors, either Jessica Hendrick or Peyton Murchie, and Peter Heyman will come on the headset and interview the other after the game. Something to look forward to as part of the postgame show here on the Augusta University Athletics Network on YouTube coming up here on Senior Day. 5-2 Lander. The Jaguars get a point. Ramos will serve it. Where does that one land? That lands in, and it's 6-2 Lander. The Bearcats are feeling it here in set 5.
Yeah, the Bearcats saw an opportunity, seized it, split Ramos and Zitrauer. Both women were trying to go for it. None could capitalize on it.
And it's 6-3 Jaguars. You have to wonder if the teams will use their timeout early on with this being a sprint here. Trying to figure things out. 6-3, Bearcats, Chloe Allen will serve it.
And that's part of the strategy, too, knowing when to use your timeouts to help best serve your team. And not only the game situation, but when is the time for them to regroup and refocus, because those timeouts are crucial in this type of sudden death situation.
Absolutely. 6-4 Lander. That one lands in. It's 6-5. Another point for the Jaguars.
We talked about last set being a match of runs. It's proving to be the same thing here in the 5th set, although now Jags are only down by 1.
Deflected, bounces off the net, and the Bearcats hit it back across. They were prepared for the bounces on that one. And a kill by Kylie Martin. We're tied at 6. Timeout, Lander after 4 straight for the Jaguars. We will be back. We are back here at the Chris. Chloe Allen will serve it. We're tied at 6 in this 5th set. When a team gets to 8 points, they're going to switch benches, which gives the teams a free timeout in this epic 5th set of a volleyball match. Let's not forget about that, Blake. And we're almost to that point, and that did touch the ground. The Jaguars were diving all over the place, hitting it back to each other low, but it did graze the ground, and that's a point for Lander.
Well, the
7-6.
Libera for the Bearcats saved the day on that one with a tremendous diving dig to keep that play alive for the Bearcats, in which they capitalized on it the next time around.
They hit it over. Hedrick with a dig, and they get it to Kylie Martin, and that one lands in. We're tied at 7.
Beautiful, beautiful decision there by Martin to recognize that everybody on the Bearcats side of the court were crowding the middle. So what did she do? Execute a perfect kill to the outside, guarding the line. Nobody had a chance to dig that out.
Jaguars with it on their end. Gets to Malik, and it's spiked right down. And it's 8. No, it's spiked down, but it goes out of bounds, and the Jaguars take the lead. And the teams will switch benches, which will give each team a free timeout.
Right.
As part of the 5th set rules. So how will this benefit the Jaguars?
Well, for now, it's going to slow down the pace of the Bearcats. So now the Jags can regroup a little bit, resettle down, reformulate their game plan and their style of play. And what they're hoping for is to work the Bearcat defense out of position and capitalize on those mistakes.
And another point for the Jaguars, and they're starting to feel it. And this place is getting loud. It's 9-7.
So from that standpoint, you saw right there, the Jags killed it, but the defense wasn't ready for it. They had it. They were in perfect position in the base, but their hands weren't up to defend that.
And that's in front of a diving Chloe Allen. It's 9-8.
This is going to go back and forth all 5th set long.
Substitutions coming in.
1 point after another, back and forth. The last game of the season for the Jags. You hardly can get any better than this.
Comes down to an epic 5th set. It's been back and forth throughout the match. Here come the Bearcats. They serve it across. Dug up by Kylie Martin. They get it back to her. She gets it back across. High up in the air for Holland Martin to hit it up. And that bounces off the net, and it's a point for Lander. We're tied at 9. My goodness. And that ricochets off of Kylie Martin, goes out of bounds. Out of the reach of Holland Martin, and it's 10-9 Lander.
We said this before, but you cannot dictate a carom off of a dig like that, and unfortunately it came back to bite the Jags on that occasion.
And that one lands in. We're tied at 10. Down to the wire again.
The precision and velocity on that kill helped the Jags tremendously there on that particular play.
Saliba will serve it. She gets it across. And that one lands in, and it's 11-10 Lander. Jaguars trying to pull ahead down the stretch here in this 5th set. I said before, this 5th set is a sprint when it's first to 15 as opposed to a marathon when it's first to 25 in sets 1 through 4. Totally different feel in the 5th set than any other set. And that one lands out for a Jaguar point. We're tied at 11. So Holland Martin will serve it.
Lander's not showing any holes in their defense, and neither are the Jags. So it's one of the first teams to make a mistake here and get on a semi-small run will have a tremendous advantage going forward.
12-11 Jaguars. Martin serving. To be specific, Holland Martin serving. And what a beautiful serve! 13-11.
What came back to plague the Jags a couple of points ago bit the Bearcats in the end right there. And that was a dig that you can't predict the carom of it, so they misjudged where that was going to go, and that is why the Jags are up by 2 in the closing points here.
And a timeout taken. I'm not sure who the timeout was taken by, but nevertheless, we'll find that out on the other side of this break. We're back here in Augusta. 13-11 Jaguars. Holland Martin serves it. She gets it across. And it's a point for Lander. 13-12. Jaguars get the dig on the other end. Sleva hits it. No, that's Ramos hitting it over for a Jaguar point, and it's match point. 14-12.
So when you have that much explosion from both teams here in the 15th set, because they're playing at a phenomenal caliber right now, the slightest mistake that you saw with Lander has cost him 3 consecutive points.
And that goes out, and the Jaguars win! 15-12 in set 5, and in 5 sets they win the match over the Bearcats and close out the regular season with 2 big wins here at the Chris.
What a phenomenal victory for the Jags. You take tremendous credit to Lander for showing heart, for showing resiliency, and giving the Jags one of the best games they've seen here at the Crisp all year long. That was a phenomenal game that came down to not only execution, passing, footwork, and being able to get the Lander players out of position to be able to attack that position that they just left, so that way they couldn't respond to kills fast enough. They couldn't respond to anything, especially the final two points, respond to anything the Jags had coming for them.
Absolutely. When we come back, Blake, you're going to get to interview one of the seniors, either Jessica Hedrick or Peyton Murchie, and the other senior will be interviewed by Peter Heyman on the other side of this break as we get you set for the post-game show here on the Augusta University Athletics Network on YouTube. And after the interviews, Blake, you and I will be back on to wrap things up one final time here in 2019 for the volleyball season. We'll be back.
Marcus. You don't care about him. Yeah, he's busy with other shit.
We are back here at the Chris as the Jaguars have won over the Lander Bearcats in an epic 5-set match to close out the regular season and prepare for the conference tournament next week in Aiken in what should be a great tournament. It's a tournament in which the Jaguars won a season ago to the NCAAs, and they're ready and primed and hungry for a repeat, Blake, this season.
Yeah, they are. They looked phenomenal today against a really tough Lander Bearcat team who came to play, especially in the second and third and fourth, fifth sets toward the latter stages of the matchup. What tremendous competition to enter into what should be a phenomenal playoff year for the Peach Belt Conference. And the thing is, Augusta was cooking on all cylinders. They were attacking really well. Their passes were absolutely phenomenal. Their blocking scheme was on point. The digs were tremendous. Where they got the digs at, it was very stiff competition all day long. Just what the doctor ordered for the playoffs coming up in about a week and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the playoffs are actually next weekend.
Right.
A week and a half is the NCAA playoffs a little further out, a week and a half out. But the conference tournament is the playoffs that the Jaguars are focused on right now. That starts next weekend, and it should be a dandy across the border in Aiken. We look forward to it. The Jaguars going in with tremendous confidence after winning yesterday and today over the top teams in the Peach Belt Conference.
Right.
What a great way to finish out the regular season, and also a great senior day game here today, winning in 5 sets to beat Lander to close out the season. This has been a pleasure bringing you all the volleyball games this season. Once again, I'm Robert Ambrose alongside Blake Collins. The Jaguars defeat the Lander Bearcats 3-2 here on the Saturday afternoon. The Augusta women's basketball team getting set to play their home opener in just over an hour from now, right at the Chris. That's going to go on tonight. It's a busy day on the Augusta University campus, but the volleyball team victorious this afternoon over the Bearcats. For Blake Collins, I'm Robert Ambrose. It's been a special presentation of the Augusta University Athletics Network on YouTube. Good night, everybody.